this is her solar return. This tells me where the theme is going to be for her year, is what I'm doing. And it's in the 11th house. So let's see what happens within the 11th house. Usually the 11th house isn't really all that. 11th house, it deals with the masses. And what I mean by masses, it means everybody at that time that was born around then. And this is it, and it's structure. And this is going to be her year to learn to be either structured or to have rules. Anything that's going to affect her life, that will personally affect her life, she needs to have structure with it right now. And that's what, and a lot of it is personal scrutiny. She has to analyze herself to make sure that she is on the right track of what she's doing, and it's not like frivolous things and stuff like that, because that's where her sun's fallen for this coming year. She doesn't have a real strong...
And if you want to point at what things mean too.
That's in the 11th house right there. That's where her sun's at. This is for the year. This is not her birth chart. And she's got the moon moving away from an opposition of it. So I'm possibly in the last, year, maybe she's had like a pulling away, like her emotions and her personality are not going into the same direction. They're pulling away from each other, because what her personality says she wants, her emotion says no, that's not right, or that yes, that is right, and her, vice versa. It could be anything like that. Usually when you have Jupiter in the 4th house like this here, usually tells me that she'll have good luck in the home, maybe getting a house or something like that. And it's complementing her ascendant, so that's a nice sign. In the coming year, she's got Uranus, that's the planet of separation, of erratic changes. And when you have erratic changes like that there, it's in her money house. Possibly she could be moved to a smaller paying job maybe, or something where there'll be a separation of her money that she earns. This is her earning money. And so that's a lot of what basically the following year is. That house of money where she's earning it, it'll be brought on by herself, because Neptune's in the 1st house. That's given her an illusion that one thing's one way and one isn't. So that's basically what the major thing is for the next coming year, is to learn to get herself structured, how she wants to save, or or just what she wants in her life, just to dream about what she wants and make a goal towards it, and get it busy. That's what the solar return's telling me. In her natal chart, she's got the sun in the 1st house. And it squares her ascendant. Usually when you have something like that there in the natal chart, this is now back to her life in general, and it squares the 10th house. She usually has a hard time getting her career and her personality going together, because there's always going to be a clash. There'll always be a clash between her career and what she wants. Usually people with 1st house suns like this here, I'm not trying to be mean, Sunny, but you kind of think of yourself first. And I don't look at that as bad, because I look at it as like this. If you have to think of you first, because probably somebody else wouldn't. And being that it's opposite the 7th house of her future husband, mate, or whoever it is, he ain't going to be thinking about you either. So you kind of got to think for yourself, because that's going to bring it all the way over into you. You are the one that needs to be the one, that takes control. And like I said before, in the next coming year, you got to get structured. Is it really what you want? Do you want? The fact that she has Saturn in the 2nd house, this is really, really quick without even studying stuff, usually shows me that you either are going to be restricted of having lots of money, or you're going to know how to handle it. You'll be conservative. You'll know what to do with this money. I will tell you something right here and now. One of, I can't think of his name. I want to say it's J. Paul Getty, but maybe not. He had that, and he was a millionaire. But he had... That usually restricts you, but it also gives you structure. It gives you the idea of, like, I know I have to save, I have to invest, I have to do this here. So it's kind of, usually but it does hold back on you getting big lump sums of money. She's also got a whole side of the chart here, the right side, which means she is also sewing. So how she treats people, how type of person she is not, she's not getting paid back this year, this lifetime. She is making it so that she can be paid back. So she has to be basically pretty nice. She has the North Node in there, so with that Sun and the North Node in there, it's a good idea. That is why she has to think of me first, because me, nobody else will. I mean, it's a cruel thing to say. I'm not saying that people don't, but in the back of her consciousness, if she doesn't think first, nobody else is. So she has to make sure she goes and does what she needs to do. If she needs to go and apply for a job, she can't wait and say, well, they haven't applied, they haven't asked for people yet. You want to go there? Go and say, I want to put an application in. I'm just using that as an example. That could be anything in her life. And being that Jupiter is what rules it, let's see what it does. Jupiter, possibly like even a career. Her Jupiter's is in the home where it's supposed to be, which makes it strong, but it's intercepted. And it is applying to a square or ascendant. So I don't look at this as a hard chart, but to me, she has to work for what she wants. You know, she has to work to get what she wants. Things aren't going to come real easy with her. People aren't going to come over and say, hey, I'm going to give you this or I'm going to give you that, because it's going to be hard, you know. Her moon complements her sun, so that does make her nicely as a people person. You know, she does like to be with people. Her Mercury and Mars. You got that Mars in that past house and that 12th house. That shows me that possibly she can bring on her own strife, in other words, because this is where this part here, I hope she can see that little leaf. This house here is things that you bring on yourself. You bring it on. You know, you make that route. And she's got Mars in there, so she can kind of cause a little grief for herself, you know, with that. But it also gives her energy. It's so close to her ascendant.